Beefcakes review. Goal Zero Yeti 400 Lithium.
Alright, so we're going to talk about the Goal Zero Yeti 400. This is Zach, I'm John. We each bought one for our off-road travels and for camping.
I didn't really like the wave, I just did.
So I guess we'll just start out. We're going to talk a little bit about what we think of the form factor. We're going to talk about whether or not it's been enough power for us and our uses. We're going to talk about how we used it. And I don't have a lot of experience with any of the other models, so we can't really do a comparison for you, but yeah, hopefully this will help you decide while Zach's dog runs amok back there.
Wait, so one thing though, I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Why did you want it in the first place?
That's a good question. So we do a lot of filming, obviously, while we're doing overlanding and off-road and stuff. So I needed a way to charge my camera consistently and bring extra batteries with me, which you probably could do with just a regular inverter. The problem is that when you turn your car off, then you don't really have a way to be charging. And our vehicles will sit at a campsite for a day or more at a time. Yeah. So that was kind of the idea. Why did you get yours?
Yeah, similar. I was hoping to find something that I could use to power my laptop if I wanted to work remotely. I can work from anywhere, but if you don't have power, you can't really do that because it's mainly like a tech talking job. So this seemed to fit the bill really well. When we were talking about them, we were talking about getting some of the bigger ones. I think the next one's up, the 1000?
I think the 1000 is the next size.
The 1000. And then, as our buddy pointed out, even if you had done up all the solar panels, you wouldn't be able to recharge the 1000 completely in the span of a day. So it didn't really make sense to go so big when you weren't going to be using all the power.
I don't think we could get enough panels on our truck roofs to do that necessarily.
Yeah.
Without deploying some external ones or something.
And now, actually, that we've used these, we didn't get solar to start with. We wanted to get them, test them out, and kind of see how much we actually use them before we invested anymore. And now that we've done that, I've learned I really don't need solar unless I'm going to be camping somewhere for multiple days at a time. So we'll go over that later because it's pretty simple to get around.
Well, we can talk about it. I mean, we use an inverter in your vehicle, right? They also make cables for the other style that just plugs it in. You can plug it with your car, like your 12 volt in your car. But for the lithium ones, you need an inverter, basically.
Yeah. So I've just got like a basic 12 volt inverter. I have nothing positive or negative to say about this one. I'm not recommending it in any way. But using this, I found that while we're usually like the couple hour drive between campsites for us on trails, this will power and recharge this thing pretty much anything I've used. So like I'm usually charging camera batteries, drone batteries, laptops, radios, and sometimes my phone off of that as well, but the phone's usually hooked up in a truck. So they're kind of using things like on and off. I'm not usually doing all of those things at once, so I'm not usually using the entire 400 at once. And just a couple hours on the inverter is usually enough to top it back off, and I don't really see a need for me to get solar at this point. Now, the one thing I will say is that Goal Zero apparently sells a 12 volt charging car cable.
It's a cable.
It's a cable that goes in your car that charges this. Yeah. When I looked, it was sold out everywhere. It was not in stock on any website that I could find. Goal Zero didn't have it. It seemed a little mythical to me. I saw like one review on YouTube of a guy using it, and that was all I could find. So they specifically say to not use...
No, they say on their website if they can't find the cable, you can buy an inverter.
Oh, okay.
The thing that's weird about it is you're taking 12 volt, converting it to 120, and then back to 12 volt to charge this. So it's like a complete waste, but it works fine, and I was able to keep this topped off to like 100% pretty much all day while we were driving around.
Yeah.
I find at camp, leaving like my phone, some camera batteries, a radio, charging my laptop, like once a day, maybe twice a day. I can go about a day or two, maybe 3, not topping this off at all.
Yeah.
But then I've got to drive again to fill it back up. If I wanted to sit at a campsite for a week, I think I would need solar, or I'd have to be willing to run my car for a bunch of hours.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely. And, you know, as far as like what it will power, you know, when it comes to the smaller stuff like the phone, the camera batteries and everything like that,
it's negligible.
Yeah, I essentially haven't had to worry about it at all. The only thing that draws a significant amount of power is like I've got a 15-inch Mac, and the charge and the draw on this thing is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
So you got to be kind of careful with that. If you plug it in and, you know, turn on the charging ports and leave it and walk away and forget about it, you can pretty easily drain this down completely when you don't necessarily need to. So that's the only thing to be careful of.
You can't really do that. You can't use it like you would a wall outlet. If you want to use your laptop on your battery, plug it in to charge it. When it's done charging, then take it off and use your laptop again. If you do that, you can get a couple of charges.
Yeah.
I have a 15-inch MacBook and also the little like 12-inch one. And the 12-inch one charge, it takes about a quarter of this. So I could get probably only like three charges, I think, out of it, because you're not supposed to go to 0 all the way. So,
what else? Oh, size.
Yeah.
So we're always driving around in our trucks, and so for me, this size actually works pretty well, and I'm pretty happy I got this one and not one of the larger ones. This fits in. I got to figure out a better solution for this, but right now, I usually put it in like the wheel well or the footwell of my passenger seat. I tend to have like a camera bag and all my equipment like ready to go there, strapped into that seat, and then on the floor I have everything like neatly organized, charging there, and that works really well. The only thing I worry about with that is that I haven't figured out a way to secure it like this guy has. So if I get in an accident, it might get a little dicey. So what did you do to secure it?
I took out the jack that's underneath my rear seat, and then I put 2 like eye hook bolts through those connector points, and then I put a strap over it. The problem with this is that it weighs, I think, around 17 pounds or so.
Yep.
And if you are in an accident, becomes a very heavy projectile in your vehicle. And you're not supposed to get it wet or too cold or too hot. So it kind of needs to be in your vehicle. But it's not super safe, in my opinion, to have there. So securing it is the hardest thing, I think. Trying to figure out like how to, like where to put it so that it's going to be safe. Like your trunk might be a good spot if you have that. But then you got to run a cable all the way back there. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough problem.
I like having everything within easy arm's reach.
Yeah.
If we pull off and I just need to charge something real quick, I can lean over and plug it in. So maybe I'll just build like a little plate or something and strap it down to the plate and figure out how to get that in there. So
I like that it's mobile. It's cool. You can just pick it up and like take it out and like use it on a table or something.
yeah,
It'd be cool if they sold some kind of securing
bracket.
brackets or something like for people
Mounting
to like
thing.
figure out. Yeah, that would be really nice. 'Cause I think a lot of people would probably use these in vehicles.
Yeah,
I-
and the mobile part is super nice. Like, there's 3 of us on this trip, and 2 of us have these. And so you were using yours, and earlier our buddy needed some power and was able to just go grab this and slap it in his truck, and he was good to go for a while. So.
Yeah. Today we've had someone's phone on plugged in along with their like signal booster, and this was going to run for like 900 hours basically, and then we have Wi-Fi at the campsite basically.
Yeah.
So overall, I'm really happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for, you know, the price. It's a little expensive, but we were able to get, like, if you watch for sales, I think REI had a sale when we got ours, and with the sale price, it felt pretty reasonable. So, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about it, and you need power at your campsite or while you're traveling, and you just got too much random junk like we do, I'd recommend it.
Yeah. It's not near as much power as you could build in like a custom system, but I think the form factor is really nice. And honestly, I have never wanted for more power.
Yeah. And, one thing we didn't talk about is the way the charging works is all the different ports are kind of broken up into sections. So you can turn on and off different sections as you go, which is really nice. Like, you know, if you built your own thing, that'd be a pain to, like, figure out how to control each different type of charging port, or how to get tons of different types of charging ports into your little custom system. But it's nice. It's all built in. You can turn them on and off. It kind of has everything you need. I don't know. It's pretty versatile.
The display is cool. It tells you how many hours you have left, given what you're charging. Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, really like it.
So, Danny, you have anything you want to say from behind the camera?
No. I do want to just kind of address the fact that you act like I was a random person that didn't exist throughout this entire review.
Danny doesn't really exist.
Doesn't really exist.
I like it was like you had like a bunch of stray buddies during this whole thing, like maybe 4 or 5 or 6. Just so everyone knows, this is Danny. I was the buddy in like all of this scenario.
He wasn't.
He's not. He thinks he's.
Yeah.
He believes himself to be much closer to us than he actually is.
We're waiting for a good time to tell him.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to tell you guys that was a very informative review, and I don't have any additional questions, but I'm not going to say that now, because you guys are terrible people.
All right, well, with that, ooh, look, full. It just finished charging my radio. That's a good closer.
Perfect timing.
Beefcakes review.
Goal Zero Yeti.
Really?